Now, the other pool we must look at is D, a possibility here. I mean, people are saying if Samoa could come out and do a job on South Africa, it would be the most sensational result in the World Cup.
Yeah, well, we'll be watching here now the Wales game, and Wales are going to have an added advantage because Samoa will already be after playing South Africa. But if Samoa beats South Africa with a bonus point, and if South Africa didn't get a bonus point in that game, they would more than likely, they would definitely qualify. But if Wales will need to get a bonus point as well from their game against Fiji. So there's all sorts of permutations. At one point, if Wales weren't going to be getting, if they didn't get the bonus point in the last game, you could have been looking at a situation where could South Africa have nearly thrown the game in an effort to try and get
David,
second.
we've slightly tended to forget about South Africa. They are the world champions. They're ambling along quietly, doing the business and looking pretty awesome. Yeah, and a lot of their players that were carrying injuries are kind of coming back now as well, and they seem to have almost a full deck to play from. So I think, yeah, they're, as you say, they're kind of under the radar a little bit, and I think they're a very dangerous team in this, obviously world champions and wanting to hold on to that title too. What do you think of them so far to date?
Yeah, I think they've got a really good balance right through their team. I think, you know, the quiet guys, the hidden guys like Brousseau, that a lot of people would kind of not look at so much. He's a great poacher on the ground, and they've got some other guys, you know, who are obviously well known like Habana, but JP Peterson's been going really well on the other wing. You've just got such a lot of balance there, but their kicking game is what makes them very strong, with Mornay staying at 10, Francois staying at 15, and Dupree at 9. They've got such variation in their kicking game. It is hard to keep momentum going forward against them. It'll be a terrific game if they beat Australia in the quarters, won't it? Which is what it's looking like.
Yeah, I think the South Africans are very, very crafty. If you look back at the last World Cup 4 years ago, they went over to the sports ground in Connacht and just about won that game. But you know, they obviously went into the World Cup and nobody was really talking about them, and they were very low key. And I think they're trying to create that again in this World Cup. And I think there's a lot more to come from that South African team. Yeah,
and of course it would be great if Samoa could break through, if they could come out of, you know, what they call it, grade 2 into grade 1 and get a result. But there are a few players short of it, aren't they, Joe?
They also did beat Australia just before this, you know, the Tri-Nations and coming into, into the World Cup.
But they haven't shown that form so far.
But they led for 70 minutes against Wales. You know what I mean? So they weren't far off. You know what I mean? So I think they have a big game in them.
And do you think it's going to be South Africa, Joe?
Yeah, I think it will be South Africa.
But Samoa's big game will be with South Africa, you think?
Yeah, again, in that Welsh game, I think we showed that, there was very close. George Stowers almost scored. Fasavalu got pulled back for a double movement. Yeah, they were very